Hi everyone, welcome to Dr. Jackie's Keto Kitchen. Today I have a special guest with me. This is Lisa.
Hi.
Not a doctor.
No.
But she is an experienced,
Enthusiast.
enthusiastic member of the keto community. She and I each have lost 120 pounds each. Twice, yeah. So we know what we're doing. We know what we're talking about.
I mean, I don't like to define myself by, I'm not 100% always keto. I like to kind of phase things in and out at this point. But the journey started a long time ago.
Yeah.
Been fighting all my life, and I didn't know why. The whole keto thing kind of opened my eyes to a whole new thing that I didn't even realize.
Yeah, it's a whole new way of thinking about food. Basically, because as a society and as I think a population, our society, I think we take in way too much sugar,
and food food that turns into sugar, not just necessarily table sugar.
Yeah,
but food that goes like this into your body and turns instantly into sugar and raises your glucose level and that's what your body would function on is all that glucose, and it's entirely too much. I mean,
and those foods are the stuff that I asked you guys last week to stop eating and let me know how you're feeling. It's the rices, the pastas, the breads, the processed food. You'd be amazed at how much processed food contains sugar.
Ketchup sauce,
everything. Yeah, salad dressings.
So much. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
But it's not just the stuff that's obvious. Like, oh, there's a cookie for
Yeah.
sure that
and
has
not a
lots
chocolate
of sugar.
bar.
Not a chocolate bar. No. It's the stuff that
it's all around us.
Yeah.
And it's not that you eat too much sugar. Too much sugar is in our processed foods, as well as our society functions around having a carb, like having a pasta.
But you know why?
The food industry.
Well, does anybody remember, because I'm a little bit aged, does anybody remember this was my first kind of foray into kind of fad dieting per se. Susan Powder.
Oh my goodness, with the short hair.
Stop
the insanity.
So the premise of her whole diet was a low-fat, super high carb.
Yeah.
So eat a bagel, don't eat the butter.
Yeah.
Eat rice, don't eat anything with it.
Have a salad.
Everything low-fat.
Yeah, don't put salad dressing on it. So don't enjoy your food. Don't you dare enjoy anything.
So as a person who is carb sensitive.
Yeah.
That was the absolute worst program I could possibly have chosen for the way I personally process things.
Yeah.
And that kind of mentality is prevalent in society because society is still on the low fat, high carb, eat less, move more to lose weight mentality. And that sort of thinking just isn't working.
It doesn't work for a lot of people. And it works for some people. Great, more power to them. Didn't work for me.
But in order to make things low fat,
they have to add sugar.
They have to add sugar. And so it kind of defeats the purpose of all of it.
Yeah.
Your low fat salad dressings, your low fat whatever, anything, low fat anything, your snack wells and all that kind of stuff is just utter crap.
You called it once a chemical shitstorm. and honestly,
like when you see the words low fat, think chemical shitstorm.
Yeah,
because that's what it is.
Right. And so part of me, the way I view keto eating is actually I eat real food. I don't eat stuff that comes from a box. I don't eat stuff that comes usually out of a can unless it's like diced tomato or something. But I eat from the outside of the grocery store, not the middle aisles, the outside, because that's the areas that you'll have more the whole food, not the processed food. So it's something to consider when you're thinking about sugar and its role in your life. to think about how our society is structured and how people eat in our society. One question I know you're going to ask is, how do we keep track? How do we know when we've had too much sugar? Well, there's a couple of good websites that you can keep track of your food intake over the day, and it'll break down exactly how much of your diet was carbs, how much of it was fats, how much of it was protein. I'll leave the links to the websites below, and I'm right here. I'm going to put a photo of one of those graphs. Just so that you can see that you can follow and monitor how much food you're eating. And my invitation to you for this week would be to keep track of your food for 1 week on one of those websites, and let me know how many carbs you're actually taking in a day.
It's
See
just
if we
a
can
way of
modify that.
establishing a baseline.
Exactly.
You can establish a baseline for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you can use that to tweak the rest of your
Exactly.
diet.
And Lisa has a photo, just in case you're sort of wondering what we're talking about. I showed you a photo of me at my medical school graduation, but Lisa's got a good photo too of her 120
pound weight loss. So
yeah.
For me, when I got pregnant, that completely messed with everything. The whole way, I mean, I've been an avid exerciser. I generally eat well. I thought I was eating well, but when I got pregnant, it messed with my metabolism to such a degree that it was kind of like a train wreck. Mm-hmm. I mean, I ran a half marathon in my pregnancy. I was mountain biking up until I was 7 months pregnant, and still.
So it wasn't like you were inactive at
No,
all.
I was super, super active. I mean, I was running all the time, and I still ended up looking like that.
So,
and then after I had the baby, that's what I look like.
Right.
So I'm not saying today, I still probably need to lose another 20 pounds or so, but I've come a long way. And that happened to me twice. I didn't figure it out after 2 times. It took me several years after my pregnancy to figure out what was happening.
The problem. Yeah, and me too. That happened to me twice. And we began our low sugar, low carb journey years ago. Years before this became 4 years ago.
It's becoming more mainstream now, but when we started, it was
so hard to find food. Like you'd go into Starbucks.
For
no
instance.
food.
There's no food that you
There's
can
no
eat.
food
Because any scone or baked thing, anything like that is like you might as well just go. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal, and things are starting. The tides are starting to change. People are starting to
be aware of it.
Yeah, and change their views on this whole low fat, high carb mentality, and that it's not working. Obviously, because the obesity epidemic is it's huge.
Yeah,
and
it's getting worse.
It's gotten worse in the last 30 years since everybody's
jumped on the low fat bandwagon.
Yeah. So I'm starting to see things less low fat, and it is starting to turn. But it's still, if you go into a coffee shop and you want to have a snack, you're like, well.
And this leads me to my next point. There's 2 points I want you to take away from this for this week. Number 1 is keep track your food intake. Track your macros. It'll show you, and what a macro means is how much carbs, how much fat, how much protein. I'll show you a photo of it. And I'm going to be posting my macros on the Facebook page this week so that you guys can see how that works. So number 1, I want you to keep track of your food. Number 2, I want you to plan your nutrition. And by that, I mean, when you walk into a coffee shop and there's nothing there to eat, have some almonds, have some cashews, have something that's not high in sugar in your bag as a snack. So you should always be planning to be foodless.
Yeah, it's true, because
right?
you often end up in situations where you're looking around and thinking, there's nothing here I can eat. Like in conferences and stuff, like sandwiches.
Yeah, you can't have a sandwich. You can have the middle part of it.
Yeah, so I've found myself picking
tossing the bread.
Like I'll have 7 of these sandwiches.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have all the insides.
Scrape the guts out of it. So I challenge everybody this week. That's the challenge for this week. Track your food and plan your nutrition. Next time, on the next episode, we're going to be talking about those macros, protein, fat, and carbohydrate, and we're going to be talking about that in more detail. And I'll give you some sort of guidelines on how to follow those things. Thanks very much for watching. Thank you, Lisa, for joining me.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.